So what I've done is I've just used the split polygon tool and just edited the last bit there, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to connect this last point in. Again, use the split polygon tool, take that across. I'm just going to make a line across. I can create a try. You can for low polygon models, it doesn't really matter that much, but here I'm just going to make it right across there. It doesn't I'm not going to be editing that or modeling that at the moment, so I'm just going to complete that. I'm just going to, that's me, I've created the extra detail on the actual model there. You can see that by doing this trick you can really easily model and look at your simple model, and you can add extra details in. This can be a wall with windows. You can use them to cut out windows into the wall and add that detail like that. You can duplicate a model and modify it. I can really easily put another texture on this if I want to, or even go back into Photoshop and create a different version of the texture. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to go back into Photoshop and I'm going to readjust the texture so I will have two versions of the texture on these models. So if I go in here now and find this cargo sticker, and I'm going to just move it, rotate it around. So press Ctrl T, rotate that around, just so it looks a bit different. I'm going to also create a duplicate of that. So if you press Tab and just drag it across, I can then Ctrl T and scale it down, so it just gives you a bit more detail. Ideally you can make each one of these components very different, each one of these boxes, so you can position more crates if you're going to use it. I'm also going to go Google and I'm going to quickly search grunge texture. I used to do this quite a lot when I used to do 2D texturing, so it just gives you a breakdown. Of course in 3D texturing you'll use brushes, and I'll be showing you that next week. So if you open up this, for instance, I'm just gonna open up view image. It's big enough, so I'm gonna just copy image. You can save it, but I'm gonna copy image and just paste it into Photoshop. And with that selected, I'm gonna go to the display settings of the layer settings. So let's position it, go into the settings and put it to multiply, and you can see that it's added this kind of grunge and dirt in places. Of course you can be much more, you can take more care in doing this, and you can put dirt at the bottom of it and to show weathering. You can do all kind of these tricks, especially if you're working on walls, all kind of stuff. I'm gonna add a hue and saturation layer here and just slightly adjust these so the colors look a little bit different to the two crates. So when I load them up side by side in Maya, you'll be able to see that. So I'm just gonna go File, Save As, and just call it this texture 3. So I'll just call it different to what you already got one. So with this you can make as many textures as you want. You can have multiple objects that are the same, but slightly adjustments in textures will make a massive difference in your scene. So you can use this method for texturing walls, houses, all kind of parts. So if I go in and add a new material to this, so I'll just go quickly and hit rendering, new Lambert, just name it something, but I'm just going to skip through and just load the file in. Load in the texture 3, and you can see that this texture is much more dirtier, it looks more grungier. So you might have it gives you a variation on your actual models. So the texture, it's the same model, but the texture is different. So if you think of staircases, if you think of panels that you might create on a wall, you can really easily break down and differentiate part of a model just by doing this small thing. And what I can then do is, if I duplicate this and just rotate it around and position it slightly differently. So if I just press Ctrl D, let's move this one bit back. I can even texture each one of these faces differently slightly, so if I was going to position them, I'll still be using one texture instead of two if I wanted to do that. So I'm just going to rotate this around disable about 90 degrees, so position that bit on the side, move that to the side there. I take this one from here, okay, position that, take, yeah, and I'll also copy this one across. So I'll just make another copy of this one here, Control D, and rotate across, and that will give me a variation of models. So very quickly you've been able to create these, do some adjustments in that through your textures. So it's a trick that we do. I mean, texturing, that's what they tends to do. I mean, you can create variations very easy, and make your models look different. Okay. So yeah, I'll leave that as there. I mean, of course, this was just an intro to texturing and a bit more modeling tips for you, but hopefully you get a better understanding of how texturing a basic model works and what you can do with that.